Hello, thank you for joining me. This is our fourth video in our series using solid body parts and assembly design. What we're going to do is we're going to continue working on our crane design here, and we're going to continue to add solid bodies to this design and the associated configurations that go with it, and eventually get ourselves to the point where we're going to put together our assembly. So what we did in the two previous ones is we created a couple different configurations, a few different configurations. We have our Boom 1 configuration, Boom 2 configuration, and a complete model configuration which has both all the elements that we've created so far, all the different bodies that we've created so far, solid bodies. So if we go to our feature manager design tree, there's three elements to this. We have our configurations, we have our folders, and we have our solid bodies. The second element here is our folder. So all the folders that are here so far have the elements that are associated with those items. So we have hook and boom 1 items, boom number 2 items. Now up here in our solid bodies, you want to make sure that these are adequately descriptively named. So what it does, as I mentioned before, the solid bodies will usually borrow the name of the last feature of that body. So it's borrowing the boom 1 shell down here, and actually renaming that body to that. But we're going to call it just boom 1 body. So we can differentiate that from any other element within our design here. And then boom 2, we're going to call that body 2. Pardon me. So the boom 2 actually is the only element that's in our boom 2 items is just a simple extrude down here. So now what we want to do is we want to follow the scenario that's labeled in our PowerPoint here. We're going to follow this scenario down here. So we're going to create another configuration, and we're going to call that boom 3. We're going to suppress all other features that are associated with the other bodies that we have. We're going to model boom 3. We're going to add boom 3 features to the new folder, and then we're going to select complete model configuration and unsuppress the boom 3. So what we're doing here is we're following this scenario for all the different models we're going to be creating so far. We're going to follow that format. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to create another configuration. We're going to call that boom 3. So if you right click up here, go to add configuration, call that boom 3. And what we want to do is once we create that configuration, we're going to suppress all the other features in boom 1, specifically right now is boom 1 and boom 2. So let's go to these two folders, right click on them, and we're going to go ahead and suppress them. We want to make sure that there's no features present that we could accidentally make some sort of relationship with. Now we're going to model boom 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick the top boom plane, and we're going to pick this last element over here. So we're going to go to the sketch element up here, go over here to convert entities, and we're going to, and sometimes when you do this for the first time, I don't know, for you or for me, maybe it's just me, it takes a while for it to load up, but we're going to go ahead and select chain, and we're going to click on this rectangle that represents the outside of boom 3. I'm going to right click on that. Green check mark. Now we're going to, we can do one of two things. We can do the shell later. But I think what we'll do right now is, I think we'll do the shell. We're going to do a simple extrude. We're going to go to features, extrude boss face, and this time we're going to go down to vertex. So what we're going to use is we're going to use elements that are already associated with the sketches that we have in here. So when we want to change our right sketch and maybe change the distances down here, we can do that really easy, and we'll update our model. So we're going to go to the green check mark. Then we're going to go up here, we're going to select on that surface, go to shell. We're going to make it 3/4 of an inch wide for our thickness of the metal that we're going to be using. And then green check mark, and that puts that feature in. And something else we want to do here too is we want to take the very top of this to make sure that we don't have any interference. Whoops, kind of got away from us. We're going to make sure that we don't have any interference with our two other bodies that we have in here. We're going to extrude that up a little bit and go to that point over here, which is going to give us a nice smooth transition between the boom and the attachment mechanism to the very top of the horizontal support. So we're going to click on this face up here, go to sketch, pick the sketch element up here, go to convert entities, and we're going to do some more up here. We're going to select chain, and we're going to click on that edge, and hopefully it'll pick up the chain that's associated with that. Well, it doesn't like that. Let's go ahead and close that out and try that again. If we click on that edge, maybe it's just trying to click that face, or select that face. Let's go back to convert entities, and we'll just select these individually. There we go. I think it was just trying to select the wrong thing. So now we have enclosed geometry. Let's go and do our boss extrude. This time we're going to go up to vertex. Again, we're going to go up to vertex. We're going to click this as our vertex end. Looks like it's looking for select contours. I think I have a stack line here. You can see that actually. Stack lines aren't considered to be very good in, when you're modeling SolidWorks. And you probably want to go back and maybe fix that. So one thing to keep in mind about stack lines is usually come out as something that's a little bit thinner line than it was before. Maybe that is a stack line because it's a little bit thicker. Let's go look at that and see if we can get that fixed. Okay, so that was a stack line. There's probably a stack line over here. So I get the feeling what it is, it actually did select that chain and I just didn't see it. So if I go to rebuild, we're in pretty good shape here. So we're going to put a cover on top here. Again, we're going to go back to that surface, go to sketch, click on the sketch element over here, we're going to go to convert entities. We're going to maintain that in the outside. What we're going to do is we're going to put a top on this. Go to features, extrude boss base, 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to point that down so it goes in a little bit. Now we're in pretty good shape. And one last thing we want to do is we want to be able to capture this geometry over here and actually add some mounting structure to our boom 3, which is going to make it attached to the horizontal support. So we're going to go to the right plane, click on the right plane, go to sketch, go to the sketch element up here, go to convert entities again, and I think if we select chain we can probably get some of this. Maybe not everything we need, and maybe it's going to give us more than what we really need, but what we want to do is click on these sketch elements up here in order to provide us with some enclosed geometry. Now we're not going to be able to select this center line geometry, these construction lines in the background, but what we can do is borrow from the model that's already been built and click on these edges over here. Oop, not that one, but that edge. Okay, so I think we're in pretty good shape here. So if we go to the green check mark, we've got a bit of trimming here to do. We'll get our trim tool out, trim that up, trim these two guys up, and now I believe we have pretty good enclosed geometry here. So go to features, extrude boss base. In one direction we're going to go up to vertex, and we're going to select from our front plane, I believe it's going to be that point. So it takes it out pretty good. And then we're going to do the same point on the other side, which these are well defined in that sketch. So if we go to direction 2, we're going to do up to vertex 2, and we're going to define this relationship over here for that one. And once we do that, go to the green check mark. We have that in place. And as long as we have this correct, then making sure that when we update our model later, we can do that with that front plane. We can probably go ahead and change the thickness of this mounting hardware in a way that that mounting support that we have there. So one last thing, let's put in these holes. Let's click on that surface. Let's go to sketch, and we're going to borrow again. Converting entities is going to be one of our best friends here. And it looks like again we selected too much here. If we have that face selected when we go to convert entities, it's going to grab that edge. But what we really want are these circles that are going to define these holes. So we're going to get out of convert entities. This is a nice little trick. If you right click on that, go to select chain, we'll select that whole thing, we're going to go ahead and press delete. So all we have are these holes. Go to features, extrude cut. We're going to go to through all on that, green check mark. Now we have all of our boom 3 items made. So we need to put that into a folder. So if you right click on the first one, add the new folder. We're going to call that boom 3 items. Just like we did before. I like using capitals for the letters, for the words, at least the first letter of the words, because it kind of denotes a title in a way. We're going to open that up, and we're going to put all these other elements in there. So if you drag those up and just put that underneath the previous feature so we don't have a conflict with feature order. And then we're all set. Let's go ahead and double check this. Boom 3 is selected. Boom 2 should just show boom 2. We'll go to our configuration manager. Boom 1 should just show boom 1. And in complete model, we want to make sure that with the complete model now, we go back and we unsuppress boom 3 items. So our complete model now has all three of our elements in there, boom 1, boom 2, boom 3, and all the other configurations have all the individual ones that we're looking for, boom 1, boom 2 all by itself, and boom 3 by itself. So I think that's enough for this video. We'll go and complete this, this model and put this together in assembly. I'll show you how that works, and we'll do that in our next film.